Hello once again, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Once again, we're here.
So, as you're probably watching this, you can see a giant fireball falls from the sky and crashes into Chinese County. Wow.
That's super bright. Look at that. That's like daytime.
Yeah, look at that. It's like another sun in the daytime.
Yeah, it's like another sun like making its way across the sky really fast.
All right, well, what's your impressions?
This one does feel like a fireball. It really does.
So you mean it feels like a meteor.
Yeah, a meteor. Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
So this does feel like a meteor coming down from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, we've seen an awful lot of these.
Yeah, it's impressive.
There's no doubts about it. And see, they're calling it a super bolide blasting over Yushu in Qinghai province.
And this one does make me curious. It has that same shape to it. It's very interesting. It's beautiful.
We are in interesting times, too. I mean, super interesting times. We just watched a movie with George Clooney in it. And the thing that kind of sucks is that it doesn't tell you what happened. But the whole premise is that there's something happened to the Earth, and it kind of feels reminiscent of what Diehold Foundation says about the solar flash that's going to come and just toast everything. All you know is that radiation readings are like at levels that life can't exist everywhere but the poles, and then slowly creeping towards the poles. Now, the year in the movie is 2049. Diehold thinks it's going to happen in 2046, so 3 years different. But there's like one ship that was going out to a newly discovered moon around Jupiter to see if it was habitable. And, that one ship is out there and then comes back to Earth and sees that Earth is uninhabitable. And it just, it's like telegraphing what's coming again,
I know. That telegraphing thing that they do it often.
They sure do. Is it planting the seeds, trying to manifest something? Is it a warning? I don't know. What do you guys think?
In some ways, and sometimes, depending on the movie and circumstances, I feel like it is trying to forewarn us.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was interesting. It's a new one on Netflix. Kind of dull. I mean, it wasn't really a fast-paced movie. But whenever we see something like that, we just got to check it out to see if they're trying to telegraph something, give us an impression or what have you. And this is in Alabama, Guntersville Lake. And this one happened yesterday, and you can see the other fireball here as well. So there's a lot of fireballs going on. Now, another thing that is interesting, I don't know, she doesn't look like a terrorist to me.
No, not to me either.
No, unless she's going to terrorize the bake sale or something at the local church.
I know. I mean, she has such good taste with her clothes. I can't imagine her doing something like they're saying on the screen.
I don't know. I don't know if everybody would appreciate that scarf. You don't know. It might clash a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting. We talked about the fact that there's been was a truck that flipped and went boom. And then we had train derailment as well. Well, actually, we had 2 train derailments in Washington State. By the way, there was a third in Gary, Indiana today, as we see. So what's going on there? Train derailment over here. This is a Norfolk Southern train derailed late Wednesday morning in Gary near County Line Road and US 12. No reported injuries or hazardous materials leaking on this one. 10 to 15 cars came off the tracks, ripping apart on the main line. That looks like a mess.
Yeah, I feel like somebody's sending a message.
This is Gary, Indiana. Okay. And getting back, you see the headline from Fox. Women linked with anarchist group charged with terror attack on train tracks north of Seattle. Shunts placed on train tracks caused the near derailment of tanks of hazardous chemicals in a residential area. So say the prosecutors, and that's why we were pulling up this lady right here. So Samantha Brooks and Ellen Reich are two Bellingham, Washington women accused of terrorism after a shunt was placed on train tracks in Whatcom County, an act that could cause the train to derail or decouple, endangering the public. So Reich is a naturalist who worked as a ski instructor. She was released Monday on an appearance bond. The two were arrested on the BNSF railway tracks near Bellingham and charged with a terrorist attack and other violence against a railroad carrier, according to a news release from the U.S. Department of Justice. Both have already appeared in federal court. There were at least 10 different occasions where shunts were placed on the track near enough to a roadway to potentially cause crossing signal and crossing arm malfunctions, including a failure to block traffic when a train was oncoming. On at least 2 occasions, individual shunts have interfered with multiple railway signals, the complaint says, underscoring the dangerousness of the acts. Brooks is 27 years old, Reich is 23. They were arrested Saturday, November 28th. You can read the full complaint, and there's a link. So, interesting, but you know what? They talk about that, but, in reality, there's been 41 of these occasions that have occurred. This is weird. This is really strange. 41 incidents of shunts placed on BNSF tracks in just these 2 counties. It's weird.
I'm feeling a lot of deceit going on here on many different levels.
Yeah. So is this just like, a worse version, a more severe version of like when PETA people will go in and release lab animals? What's up with this? It's something feels strange here. Something feels really, really strange.
I think something's going to come out in the near future that talks about this and is going to explain the strange feeling we get with it.
It is. And I kind of feel like we're going to be seeing more and more of these type of things happening. There's so much going on right now and so many tensions on so many different sides. Obviously geopolitical tensions within the country, but yet there's external tensions as well, as we've seen with unusual movement of the fleet, all sorts of threats. How many times have we had either Russian planes buzzing Alaskan coast or other areas? We had the whole Russian Atlantic fleet come out and get really close to the UK as well in a tiny little show of force. And then the U.S. has done the same thing, off the Pacific coast of Russia, basically kind of heading into a bay that they own, really close to their territory. And of course, the same thing going on with China and the U.S. It's just like there's all these possible things that can go boom.
And it's almost like it's being done by design, maybe in all different areas to keep people distracted on many different levels.
Well, yeah, there's most definitely that going on. And, there's so much being revealed. As we've talked about the great apocalypse, the great unveiling that's going on. There's so many shocking revelations coming out if people can, put the attention to it, because there's so many things happening that's given us whiplash trying to keep up with it.
It has been. Every time we, get a chance to turn on the computer, there's about 10 different things that just pop up.
Yeah, and we're not even anticipating making another video for the night and everything. And it's like, well, we got to check. You never know what's going to happen, so you check and you're like, wow, so this goes along with that. This is curious, and there's a lot of things that are curious going on right now. It feels like, it just feels like, there's multiple fuses lit. Yeah. And we're going straight, like when you go to the fireworks, and, usually it starts off kind of slow. Oh, boom, that was nice. Oh, boom, there's another. Well, it feels like there's like 100 fuses lit, And all of a sudden, we're going straight to the grand finale.
A really nice crescendo.
Yeah, now that gets me thinking about the movie V for Vendetta.
I know.
Which is an interesting movie for these times.
Oh, definitely. I would highly suggest if you haven't seen it, please watch it. If you've watched it, watch it again.
Yeah, I would encourage that as well. Well, guys, thank you so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. As always, stay prepared out there. Keep putting the positive vibes out, but be aware. Just be aware, because we are most definitely living in interesting times.
Stay safe. God bless. Namaste.
God bless and namaste.